Okay, so it's been about 24 hours since I've seen Longlegs, and watched a lot of reviews online about it. And there's a lot of things in the movie that I have been questioning ever since. And seemingly hardly anyone, and maybe no one who's giving reviews, have been talking about any of these things that I'm questioning in my own head. And maybe it's just because not all the reviews contain spoilers and whatnot. But I will probably give the movie like an 8. I think that there's a lot of problems with the movie, but I also feel that the problems could be things that either by rewatching it or doing research into the movie and figuring stuff out, like behind the scenes knowledge of what's going on. I know there's lots of religious aspects to it, like the 9-headed beast or something like that, Book of Revelation. I personally don't know anything about that aspect, and even if I did, I'm not sure if I would have picked up on it in the movie. I don't know, just because, I don't know. But to me, if you have to do research into a movie to understand it more, that's going to be down to a personal thing, whether it makes the movie personally better for you. But I do not think that adds to how well the movie was made, because a general audience, and way more people than not, will have no idea what's really going on. They'll think that it's just a simple Satanist who is doing some things, and the rules of this world that we're in, they're very loose, and you can either accept it or just hate it, because nothing is seemingly explained. And personally, I don't mind having to go and look on a website and piece together clues on the internet, or watch a commentary, or watch people's videos who breaks down the movie and figure, and spend who knows how long trying to piece together things. That can be fun for a movie that you like. But I would not call it a masterpiece just because of that. But yeah, I don't see how anyone's calling this a masterpiece, really, because there's just so many things holding it back from that. And with these questions, there could be answers to every single one of these questions. I just don't know. So all these questions are just have been tossed up in my head randomly in the past 24 hours. And let me know in the comments if you have exact answers for these. I don't want possible answers or made up answers. Is there answers in the movie that explains the questions I'm about to ask? And the more questions I have, and the less that they're able to be answered, the farther away from a masterpiece it is. I think, if I'm going to rate a movie based on how well it's made and how good the script is, there has to be a limit. There has to be only so much you can take. I was thinking about Kill Bill, and that's kind of like an alternate Earth in that movie. Like, for instance, when she's on the airplane and she has her sword next to her. Well, everyone knows that you can't have a sword on an airplane, but it doesn't matter in that movie. You just take that for what it's, for what it is. You don't have to explain how she got the sword from one place to another. She has it with her, and she gets to the next place, and that's all you need to know. But it is a bit of an alternate world, a little bit in Kill Bill, and it's perfectly explainable. Whereas this, I really hope there's answers to the questions I have. I hope I missed things that people are going to say, well, how'd you not figure that out? Wasn't you paying attention to the movie? I was, but like I said, the theater that I was in, I don't know if it was the theater or my seat. I don't know, but there was lots of dialogue that I did not quite catch. And there was, I will definitely buy this when it comes out on 4K, because it'll be interesting to see how some things come out. Like there was lots of like the letter that she received, which I will touch upon here in a moment. But there was certain things that I had a hard time reading and piecing together. So yeah, I don't want to automatically hate the movie and say, the movie's not good, because maybe I did miss some things. And even if the answers are not there, I still like it to a degree because of how well it's made and how well it's acted and everything like that. Yeah, so starting off, the beginning of the movie, Agent Lee Harker works for the FBI, and she and her partner get sent on a task of going door to door. You don't know exactly what for, but just going door to door, trying to look for somebody. And so they go to this neighborhood. They pull up. Her partner says, "Well, I'm going to be the one knocking on the door. You can stay in the car." And she ends up getting out of the car, looking at this house, and getting a really good feeling that the killer is inside the house. Okay. So she has some type of paranormal sense about her. Okay. So her partner agent gets killed. She goes in. She's able to arrest the killer. I don't know why the killer gave himself up so easily to her, and I was very confused, because the profile of the killer in that scene looks like Nicolas Cage. But I was thinking, okay, so was that Nicolas Cage? Did he get arrested? Or was this a different case? Or was this connected to the Longlegs case somehow? I didn't quite understand that. And I mean, I understand when a movie does show, don't tell, because that's super important. But this was very seemingly, don't show much and don't tell anything. But yeah, I just didn't get it. And then my thinking was, okay, so her partner agent's going to go in there and make the bust, and then he's going to tell the rest of the department, wow, she knew that the killer was in this house. It could have been luck, but she knew, she had a feeling. But no, he dies. So the only logical conclusion would be she told her superiors, hey, I just happened to know that the killer was in that house. I just knew it. And they must have believed her so much that they put her through that test that she did. I would have chosen to do that way differently. It should not be something that's dwelling on my mind while I'm watching the movie, trying to make sense of things, and then being confused at the same time whether that was Nicolas Cage in there or not. I mean, obviously it wasn't, but they didn't. You knew nothing about the case that she was on in the beginning. You really hardly anything was told about it. Yeah, I was very lost. Was Lee's asociality because of her demonic possession? She definitely appears to be possessed somewhat. I mean, towards the end of the film, she gets she passes out, and some black smoke whispers away from her head, kind of like the dolls, those orbs in the dolls when they get shot. The black smoke. Okay, so she has to be kind of possessed a little bit throughout her entire life. I'm guessing that's why she was acting that way. I don't know. Once again, it's kind of up in the air. Again, these are not bothering me too much as far as my overall ranking of being an 8 out of 10, but just again, more confusion when I'm trying to piece together other events from the movie and being confused on the side. Why was she such a bad FBI agent? I mean, she comes in there and she impresses everybody. She figures things out. She knows things. She understands things. Their 30 years or whatever of following the case, and she comes in there and just catches them up on so many things with her apparent demonic, satanic powers that she's been given. The evil entity in the film at one point wants her to stop getting so close to figuring out Longlegs, but yet she has the capabilities of second sight. Why allow her those capabilities in the first place if she's going to get... I don't know. But her being a bad FBI agent, there's several moments we in the first act we get Longlegs delivering a letter to her, and it's like, oh, some evidence in the case, and she puts on her blue gloves. Okay, good. She's being nice about the evidence, putting on her blue gloves. Then she starts writing on the letter and pressing it down and kind of not destroying evidence, but doing something that an FBI agent should not be doing. And then she doesn't even reveal to anyone that she got the letter. Why? Is she afraid that it's going to haunt her past? Like, is she afraid that it's going to do something to lead to her mom in a bad way? I don't know. But, I mean, if they found out that she had that letter, I mean, she's out. She's no longer an agent. You can't destroy evidence like that or tamper with the evidence, at the very least, the way she did. And then her lack, I don't know what it is, but in the third act, there's several moments that she could be doing something that any other FBI agent or any other person in her instance would be doing. She sees her mom, who apparently knew that they were coming to her house because her mom was outside and down the street or something when her and Agent Browning show up to bring her in, because she never passes her daughter on, when Lee walks to her house. But anyway, the mom blasts Agent Browning twice for whatever reason. But instead of saying, hey, let me give myself 15 seconds to dial 911 and get cops here immediately before I go running off to the mom. Give me 15 seconds to call Agent Carter and say, hey, shit's going down. I mean, she just walks outside and chases after her mother, and then shortly thereafter passes out and everything. But I'm just wondering, you think that there would be some sort of urgency to get support, backup and support out there right away. And then when she does wake up after she passes out, she knows that Agent Carter is the next one to be possessed, I'm going to call it, and kill his family and then kill himself and all that. So she apparently doesn't try to really do too much to get anyone to show up there and help her out or anything like that. Her idea is to just drive to his house and apparently hope that she gets there before he starts killing. Yeah, there was no urgency to really try and do something about the situation. Yeah, so I that had me confused. At the end of the movie, I always think about, okay, well, at the end of the movie, what happens afterwards? Well, what happens after this movie is the FBI says, so tell me about the events that led to everything happening. Why didn't you do more to try and help the situation? They would have had to have grilled her about her actions or lack thereof. And then why would Agent Carter, I mean, he knows what's going on in this case. He understands enough of the modus operandi of the killings that he's going to let the mom in with the doll. Okay. Once again, some apparent stupidity. Maybe there was a reason why. I don't know. Then why did her gun stop working? I mean, it magically worked when she shot Agent Carter twice and then her mom in the forehead, but then only when it came to shooting the doll did it stop working. The mom was able to shoot her doll, no problem. I was sitting there thinking, so she only had 3 bullets. Did she use the other bullets somehow before and didn't have any other replacement bullets? Or maybe the evilness stopped her from shooting it, okay, but she couldn't have destroyed it in any other way. She gave up after 3 clicks of the gun or something like that. No, hey, maybe I should grab a hammer and beat this thing or something like that. The movie ended so abruptly that I'm having a hard time to even remember exactly what happened. She grabbed the child and they decided to leave. But the child was possessed. What was going to happen to the child afterwards? I mean, any sane FBI agent would have probably handcuffed her so that way she didn't do something crazy, but brought her in, and figured something out. But it was more like, hey, let's leave, let's get out of here. Or Agent Carter says, in a kind of a funny line, I'm going to the kitchen, but you're staying there. And he takes his wife to the kitchen. And as an audience member, you're thinking, oh, he's going to take her in there and kill her. Obviously, he just basically said that he was going to go in there and kill her. But Lee Harker here is like, oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll just let it happen to prove that it is happening, even though I know Agent Carter's possessed because of the way he's acting and the fact that my mom's here and everything, and the doll's right there, and the family's acting weird. But I'll just let him take his wife in there and kill her. Yeah, we'll just see what happens after that. Let's see. And if I remember correctly, there was like some murders that the FBI was not able to tie to Longlegs, and she had to come in there and point some things out. I need to rewatch it to really get all the events, because there's so much talking about dates and the 14th of the month and the 13th of the month and 9 years, and there's a lot of math you got to do throughout the movie and trying to piece together, there's always a daughter's birthday on the 14th, and only one time was they actually killed on the 14th, and all this convoluted stuff. It seemed like the FBI could have been able to piece things together, especially when you have murders that are so related to one another. I couldn't quite tell if these were widespread across the entire United States or if they were just like in one state. Longlegs obviously travels around a little bit, but seemingly not much, because I mean, all the events are happening within, like she says at one point, it's 89 miles away, and the other place is 113 miles away or whatever. It's like, we get it. You're a super agent. You thought ahead to get the exact mileage away, whatever the case. But it seems like it just really felt like everything was centralized to somewhat of a smaller area. So they couldn't, it seemed like they were missing a lot of information that Agent Lee had to come in there and fill them in on and figure out and educate them and get them up to speed about. To me, Longlegs was a character that, okay, throughout the entire thing, you're trying to figure out, well, is Longlegs supernatural himself? Or, I mean, he has such heavy prosthetics on, he doesn't even look like a real person. He looks like some type of like cryptid almost. That ashen look and the bulbous features and that hair. It's like that human really has had a rough life if they look like that. So yeah, you're kind of wondering, okay, is Longlegs supernatural? And apparently he's just a real human being who's just a Satanist, and there's like and he's been able to conjure up evil entities or Satan or whatever it is. I'm sure if I read the book of Revelation, I might know a bit more, but he's able to conjure up that and make his dolls and everything. But he's very, very strange. He's not putting on a show when he's around people he's going to eventually kill or something like that. No, he's strange all the time, to the point of, how does this guy, how does he make money? How does he do day-to-day things? How does he exist? Surely he's a human being, but he's not. He doesn't act like one. The way he acts around people makes you wonder how he's really getting by in life. And at no point has his weirdness ever caused anyone to call the cops, or just cops in general noticing a weird guy prancing around the city, or him being on a watch list or anything like that. Certainly this character maneuvering around would cause this. I don't care if he's just going to a restaurant and ordering food, which I don't see him doing that anyway, but it would alert people somehow, considering he's been doing this for like 30 years or whatever. It just seemed like, it seemed very unrealistic about how he was able to be in this world. I mean, we even know that, he went to that drugstore. He's been there at least a couple of times, because the girl working the counter knew of him already. I just didn't. I wanted more explanation, or not necessarily explanation, just showing him able to live. And the same thing with the mom, Ruth. When you first hear her, I was thinking, oh, she probably lives in some type of home. Her speech patterns are off. It doesn't seem like it's like she's having a hard time communicating with her daughter, and her daughter's kind of having a hard time communicating as well. But the way she acts and the way she lives, and then when you see her, you're like, yeah, she is unstable. I don't think that she is capable of getting up every morning and having a shower and cooking herself food and paying bills. I did not get that at all. But apparently she did. I don't know. It really took me out of the movie when I was trying to put some sort of reality to the crazy story that was going on. I just did not get it. And then I was having a hard time trying to piece together what the point of Longlegs was. So he was good at making dolls, and that would be the only way that a satanic entity could somehow lead to being able to off families by possessing the father of the family to kill everyone and then kill himself. That's one real long roundabout way of involving Longlegs. And then he's out of the picture because he kills himself. And then things just continue. It's like, okay, so, why was he needed in the first place? Certainly, surely there's another way for the devil to do his deed. It just felt like there was lots of ideas, but no explanation to any of these ideas, and not even a little grain of hints to try and explain things. In fact, the show don't tell aspect of it, lots of the third act was just finally telling everyone, oh, here's how this happened, here's that turned out, here's the flashback to this, and here's this, and let's piece everything together, even though by that point you're no longer wondering what's going on. You've been able to piece it together yourself. But I don't know. But I do look forward. Like I said, I like the movie. I can let things slide in a movie if I like what's going on visually and audio wise and acting and all that stuff. I can forgive lots of things. And with all these questions I have here, obviously I've been able to forgive a lot to give the movie an 8. Because if I was having a bad time and there's lots of other aspects that was bad about it, then the movie would be down like in the 4 or 3 range because of everything that was missing out of it. But it was layered and detailed enough to at least make me think, well, maybe I missed some things. I'm not going to rate the movie low just because I possibly missed some things. But hopefully upon rewatch, hopefully upon watching, spoiler reviews, maybe, but I doubt people's going to really talk about these things. They're going to gloss over them and just only focus on the positive aspects of the movie. But hopefully I'm able to answer some of these questions in a logical manner rather than just saying, oh, well, the evil entity stopped the bullets from happening and I'm not going to give any more thought to that. No. Why didn't she take a hammer and kill the doll? So I don't know. Help me out in the comments below. And it's an 8. I don't think I'm going to go lower than an 8 just because there was so much about it I did like, and lots of these questions I can sort of excuse, but some of them I just really cannot until I get some real solid evidence as to what the answers really are to some of these questions. I'm sure I have more questions that I just haven't thought of yet, but let me know. Answer these questions in the comments below if you can, and give me some full explanations, some logical. If you know more about the storyline and understand certain aspects of it, and was able to spot things in the background that make sense to you, but to 95% of the people out there probably couldn't catch up on it because they're not Revelation experts. I don't know, but the movie could go up from an 8, but I think an 8 is where it's going to stay. Definitely not a masterpiece. I've seen some reviewers, some people with some high amounts of subscribers out there and a lot of eyes on them, just completely just say that it's a masterpiece and it's this and it's that, and I'm thinking, yeah, I'm an apologist for it to a point, but I understand why I'm apologizing for it, but I'm not going to give it a 10 out of 10 masterpiece just because I have to be honest with the shortcomings that I have came across and not been able to get answers to anywhere within the past 24 hours too. But until the next one, I'll see you later.